I caught you. Yeah, it's a bit early. 4:15, I suppose. He's a bit early to be doing a show, but I've just got off the phone, and this is some news that really needs to get out immediately. Pardon me. So, folks, hello, Angie. G'day, Paul. I've just got off the phone from one of my Melbourne contacts who has been telling me some reasonably sad news. Hello, Kate. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Sandy. You gorgeous, wonderful, lovely woman. I did get your email, and I am following up on those phone numbers and things for you, just to, by the way. Hello, Sunflower. Yeah, Peter Little. A bit of an update on Peter Little, folks. I'm very sad and sorry to report to you that a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, Peter had a stroke, a very severe stroke. He is currently in hospital. He is non-responsive. However, his family have been advised, with a barking dog in the background, his family have been advised that stroke victims have come back from the position that Peter is currently in. But at the moment, it is a fairly serious concern. So if you could include Peter in your prayers. He is obviously in a state at the moment where he is getting the best medical treatment that is available. And please, if you were thinking, if you happen to know the hospital that he's in, do not call the hospital. Do not call him. Do not hassle them. He is in no state to take your call, or dare say the people who are there looking after him are in no state to be taking messages. So if you are going to send your prayers to Peter, then by all means, please, you can email something to me. I will make sure that the family gets it. But at this point in time, please do not try and reach out to Peter himself or to the hospital if you happen to know where he is. I'm not going to share those details. I do know where he is, but I'm not going to share those details. It is a tragic, tragic turn of events, and I just pray that he has a speedy recovery. We know Peter has suffered a great deal in the last few years. He has been a leader in this movement from a legal sense. He has been pushing the buttons on them, on the deep state, for 3 years. He spent a lot of time in hospitals, and not this kind of hospital that he now sees himself in. It is a tragic turn of events. So, folks, if you could please include Peter Little in your prayers, that would be greatly appreciated. And the family just wanted to reach out to let everybody know that this is the current situation with Peter. They have not and continue not to lose hope. The doctors are quite encouraging. They say stroke victims have come back from this and indeed worse. But at this point in time, Peter is unable to function at all. He couldn't even tell you how to work a phone, let alone work one. So, so yeah, really, really shitty for Peter Little. Sunflower. How did my first day at the station go? Oh, well, I had a little bit of fat finger disease. I might have played a few things in the wrong places, but at any rate, everything got played that should have got played, and some bloody good music. So yeah, had a little bit of fun on there. I've also gone and started a TikTok account. So if you are remotely into TikTok, I've only done this for the radio station. I don't have anything to do with TikTok generally, but the lady that was doing the breakfast show before me, she's picked herself a job up, her first job in commercial radio, God love her, and all the best to her. So she's heading off to start that great adventure. So yes, I'll fill in for, well, however long they want, really, I guess. I think we're going to do a suck it and see for 3 months and see what happens. Bay FM is located on the Moreton Bay, Redlands area in Brisbane, and 100.3 is the FM frequency you can find them on. They do have a pretty good coverage area, actually. You can get them from the Bay all the way into the city and south, pretty much most of the way to the Gold Coast, well into Logan and other areas. I don't think it gets down to the Gold Coast. Pretty sure it doesn't. And I think once you get over the Gateway Bridge heading north, it gets stretchy. Just, that's where the null is in transmitter terms. So I'll be filling in on there for a little while, but it's a bit of a rock station, so I'll be playing some rocky kind of music in the mornings. Just my kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to getting better at it. It's been a little while since I've had to pull an on-air shift, and the equipment that I'm using here at this radio station is decidedly different to the equipment I was using at the last radio station. So fat finger disease is something I'm suffering at the moment. And you'd wonder why, because I've been pushing buttons in radio stations for 40 years. I think I was just spoilt with the last system I worked on the Sunshine Coast. It is just the duck's nuts when it comes to working in radio broadcast, I can tell you. Not to say that community radio stations don't have great equipment, but not this one. It's got equipment. It's all good. It'll get noise out, and we get to play all the songs. That's what I like to hear. So, yeah. Angie, what do I know about 30,000 military in Queensland? I know that there are a lot of more than 30,000 in Queensland. They're not all in Queensland. They spread across the Northern Territory and Northern West Australia and the top end of Queensland. It is all part of Operation Talisman Sabre, and there are 30,000 international troops, probably more. I have heard that there are 30,000 Marines in the country alone. Whether or not there are, I don't know. Nobody sent me pictures of them. Nobody can tell me where they are. Nobody can tell me where they're camped out. Right now, of course, they're in the middle of Operation Talisman Sabre. So if they are on that operation, they'll be running around the top end, dodging crocodiles and trying to, capture the baddies, I dare say. But yes, I haven't seen too much information on Talisman Sabre, and certainly I've seen no proof that there is anything other than Talisman Sabre countries involved in that operation. There is an awful lot of American hardware out here around Australia at the moment, though. And when I say an awful lot of American hardware, the USS America, commonly known as a warship, but a war-making ship. On USS America, they bring everything to propagate a war or to prosecute a war. There is also another warship called the USS New Orleans. Similar kind of deal. These are very big, very well kitted out warships. They are designed to be able to prosecute a battle, a very large battle, and keep the logistics going and going and going. So, okay, I can understand why that would be being used in Talisman Sabre. I can understand why two of them would be used in Talisman Sabre. There is also a fair amount of Chinese spy shipping going on at the moment just outside Australian territorial waters. And I don't know that they recognise the 200-kilometre limit. They're more likely to recognise the 12-mile limit. But Australia have said basically, by all means, come over and watch. We do the same thing to you when you have war games. So there you go. Q-Post is suggesting something happening from the 1st to the 3rd of August. Sunflower. Well, they're your dates, not mine. Let's leave that at that, shall we? I'm very hesitant to talk about dates, and I don't think it's helpful at this juncture. I'm not seeing anything that would indicate anything happening on the 1st or the 3rd, or through the 1st to the 3rd of August, unless it is some kind of financial, cataclysm. And we won't know about it. Whatever big thing is going to happen isn't going to be telegraphed to us early. It's going to happen, and we'll wake up to it, is my guess. There is a lot of things going on at the moment. They've just decided to try pushing for the Biden family to be investigated and for Biden Sr. to be impeached. Now, the Speaker of the House came out earlier this morning and made a quite long speech about the why, fors, wheres, and reasons behind putting up impeachment proceedings against Biden. He is asking for that to happen, and I dare say that will happen, given that the Republicans now control the House. But what's that mean? Do you remember when Donald Trump was impeached? Twice. Do you remember how long it took? how long it took for them to get it all together, how long it took for them to get it into the House to actually do the prosecution, and then, of course, it all fell to shit anyway. What's the point of impeaching Biden if you're going to leave him in there? And bear in mind, the Democrats have form with that. Bill Clinton was impeached. They left him in. Okay, he couldn't run again. He was going to be out at the end of his term, but they let him stay to the end of the second term and had him sign a whole heap of other things into law while he was doing it. So he was very much a captured president, Bill Clinton, very much. So yeah, a lot of interesting things happening. Now, there will be another show tonight, folks. This was only a short one just to let you know about Peter Little. I have already spoken with a gentleman called Ron Fenwick. Now, Ron is a herbalist. He is an iridologist, runs a practice, and he has been involved with a bunch of scientists, I should say, that have been discussing, looking at, and querying different elements of what they are seeing in the science behind the mRNA jabs. This will be a Rumble-only show tonight. Okay, it will be on at 6:30, but it will only be on Rumble. You will not see it on this unless you're watching Voice of Freedom on YouTube. It will not be on any of the other YouTube channels. It will only be on the Voice of Freedom YouTube channel, which I'm doing just to try and prod YouTube to see if they're going to ban me on that. And because rest assured, if I put it on the main channels, I'll certainly ban it, but I might be able to get it left up on Voice of Freedom. A lot of other stuff goes there and they don't tend to knock it. So if you don't know how to find that, or you can't figure it out, then just go to Rumble, look for Voice of Freedom on Rumble, and 6:30 tonight, an interview with Ron you will find very, very, very interesting. Have you ever heard of something called MTHFR? I would try and tell you what all that stands for, but I'm going to require probably a medical degree to learn how to pronounce it. But we will discuss that at 6:30 tonight with Ron, and this is an extremely important link that Ron has been able to draw and prove, in fact. So this could be a reason why we are seeing some people go down very badly after an mRNA jab, and some people relatively unaffected, or at least affected in minor health terms compared to those who have had, fatal to less fatal consequences, but still ongoing serious damage. What Ron will tell us at 6:30 tonight is something you should be listening to. And go and get yourself tested. Walk into your doctor, say you want a test for that's thymoquilin. Hang on, that's another thing we'll talk about. You want a test for MTHFR. I will get the whole pronunciation for you correct, but you will find that a doctor will look at you and say, well, why do you want to get tested for that? Get tested for that. Get tested for that. Because people who have, and most people do have MTHFR in their genome. So there is, to greater or lesser extents, some MTHFR in all of us. The ones who have more are affected worse. The ones who have less are affected less, but not minimally. Those of us that have it and haven't had a jab aren't infected at all. There's also some very good information that he'll be able to help us out tonight with cleansing your system. So check that out. That's coming up at 6:30 this evening. It will only be on the Rumble channel. It is the best place to go and see it. It won't only be there. It'll probably be on Facebook too if you're watching there. But it will not be on the main Voice of Freedom channels on YouTube, just the Voice of Freedom one. So get onto Rumble and go and check it out. Sorry, Ange, I'm just having a look here. Do you hear Bob Hawke, the Queen of Australia, nominated himself power overall? Well, Angie, there is a lot of interesting things about Bob Hawke and the Queen and all that, but most of the damage was done before Bob's time, if we're honest. Bob played his role pretty significantly while he was in unions, and then obviously as Prime Minister he was able to usher things through as he did. So too, the funeral director that came after him, Paul Keating, and a couple of others. But I will look into that. I'll see if I can find out some more information. I've got a sneaking suspicion I've heard something about that before. I just can't drag it out of my memory at the moment. But I will go into it and look a bit further into that. Forget Talisman Saber. Did you see Guru launched the Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot website last night, and the trolls launched Operation Guru Hammer? God knows what that's going to be. Should be a bit of fun to watch. Should be a bit of fun to watch. Yes, I did see Guru launch the site, and I think they're doing a great job. What else do we got to say? They're doing more than a lot of other people. We could all do a lot more. The more of us that get together and do things, the more people wake up. The sooner we will get an enforcement arm, the sooner these bastards are locked up, arraigned, judged, and hopefully sentenced to something that they were aiming to give us. The sooner that happens, the better. Yes, Kate, the Aussie Rumble channel or Voice of Freedom, same kind of thing, I think. I'm not sure whether it comes up under Aussie or Voice of Freedom. There are possibly two channels there. But yes, the normal Rumble channel will have the show on tonight. You've got a relative diagnosed with MTHFR. If that relative is jabbed, then Christine, you need to really start looking into. Watch this show tonight at 6:30. You'll get some advice there that might be able to help with people who have been tested for and found with the MTHFR gene. It connects to the first chromosome, and that is important. But Ron will explain that in tonight's show at 6:30. Yeah. Get tested for it, folks. If you have a particular stronger representation of this in your genealogy, then you are more susceptible to whatever is in the mRNA jabs. And we're not just talking about the spicy cough jab. We are talking about flu jabs, any jab. Dentist. You're going to a dentist, having some anesthetic put in your mouth. I don't want to tell you, but it's in that too. They're getting you everywhere. And I will get David Nixon on to come and explain to us his findings about what he's found in dental anesthetic under a microscope. Pretty horrible. If you weren't scared of dentists before, you are likely to be now. Trust me. And I've never been a good dentist fan. So, yeah, it's a very, very ugly state of affairs. What's happening here with the Georgia Guidestone pegs? Found Georgia Guidestone looking thing near Alton in Tasmania too. Was it? That's an interesting thing to be finding near Alton. I will have to have a bit of a talk with Black Sheep, get him on the case and see what we can find down there. He'll be just trying to keep himself warm at the moment. Okay. I'm so sorry, Kate. I'm so sorry. It's just wrong what they do. It's just wrong. What are we to do about dental? My suggestion would be start brushing your teeth with charcoal and pulling your own teeth out. Might hurt a bit, but won't kill you. That'd be my bet. Oh no. Oh, Sandy. Well, I don't know. Was it dental surgery or was it surgery? I'd say watch the show tonight. Have a pen ready. Get a shopping list. There's some stuff you can buy that can help you. Thank you so much, Sunflower. Yes, that's what MTHFR stands for. Methylene trihydrofolate reductance. Yeah, that. I don't pretend to understand how it works, but Ron tonight at 6:30 will explain it. I'll still look a little bit skew-whiff over it because this is deeply science. But what he has discovered is that there is certainly a link between MTHFR in the gene and the severity of any problem going forward after a jab. So worthwhile having a bit of a look at that. Dental, Sandy. So yes, watch tonight, 6:30, get a pen ready, and hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, get that into you. There are many other things that he mentions tonight, and in fact explains a couple of things, including blushwood berry, something called thymoquilin, and a seed that comes out of Nigeria called Nigella ceteria. We will talk about those later tonight. These are all available either online. You might find a health food shop that has some of it, and it is possible that you can protect yourself against this shit. So let's hope that is what's going forward. Listen out tonight for Ron, 6:30 in the show that we have tonight. Is the dental issue new? Not sure, Lydia. I will get a hold of David Nixon. I'll see if I can get David on for tomorrow night, and we'll have a discussion about that as well. He does have some very interesting video that he sent me and some images. What I can say is that what he has seen inside dental anesthetist, what do you call it? That stuff, the juice, the dental juice, is very similar to what he saw inside the mRNA jab. And that is self-assembly in the droplet that he has under the microscope, not doing anything, just sitting there, and you can see things self-assembling inside it. It's quite frightening. So we will try and bring you up to date with that if I can get a hold of David. He's been pretty hard to get a hold of recently. I've been struggling, but at any rate, tonight's show, 6:30, Rumble only. Okay, Rumble only. Don't forget it, Rumble only. Black turmeric. Yes, I've heard that, Sandy. Black turmeric is also apparently pretty good, but trust me, nothing apparently is like these Nigella ceteria seeds, and well worth checking those out. But anyway, we'll learn more about it tonight with Ron. I'm going to leave you there, folks. 25 odd minutes in, and once again, I'll just recap the reason that I am doing the live. It is news on Peter Little. Unfortunately, 2 or 3 days ago, Peter had a massive stroke, and he is in hospital. He's not with it at all, and the family have wanted to give it a couple of days to settle down so that they could get some medical advice on and prognosis toward Peter's future. Now, the doctors have said that people have recovered from strokes of this severe nature before, and it takes a long time to recover, At the moment, for the most part, he's non-compass. So there is no point in trying to ring, no point in trying to talk to him, no point in ringing up and hassling a hospital. So please, just put Peter in your prayers, put Peter's family in your prayers, and with God's grace, he'll pull through this, and he'll be back on our front line sooner rather than later, one hopes. But yes, please keep Peter in your prayers going forward. He's a good man who has done a lot for this movement and suffered a great deal for it. So if you can keep him in your prayers, that will mean a great deal to the family. And I guess if you want to send a message, you can send it to me, carl@vofhq.com. I will make sure that every email gets to the family so that they know that people are thinking about them. But in this time, they are just asking everybody to please be respectful, give everybody the space that they need, including the hospitals, and let's just get some concerted prayer effort behind this, and pray that Peter does recover and is back on his feet sooner rather than later. Thanks, folks. Don't forget, 6:30 tonight, another show. It will be on Rumble only. Don't miss it. It is a doozy. Be safe, won't you?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back! Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!